Imagine this: a man walks through a busy market. Someone brushes against him, knocks over his drink, and without even looking back, walks away. Most people would react with anger or snap or let that irritation ruin their entire day. But this man just smiles, takes a steady breath, and walks ahead completely unfazed. Why? Because he has discovered a powerful secret that changes everything. Nobody can make you upset or disturb your peace unless you allow them to. This isn't about turning your back on reality or acting like life is perfect. It's about taking back command over your thoughts and emotions, building a stronghold of calm so steady that no insult, mistake, or rough day can break through it. Today, you're going to understand how to unlock that kind of freedom, the freedom to remain calm, centered and unaffected no matter what the world throws at you. Because the minute you stop giving your power away, your whole life begins to change. Many years ago, there lived a man named Viktor Frankl, a respected psychiatrist and survivor of the Holocaust. While locked away in one of the cruelest concentration camps in history, Victor witnessed unthinkable pain, suffering, and cruelty. Every single day, prisoners endured inhuman conditions designed to break their hope and crush their spirit, but Victor made a life-changing decision. He refused to let his captors control his inner world. He realized that although they could chain his body, they could never trap his mind or steal his emotional strength unless he gave them permission. In the middle of all the pain, Victor tapped into a deep source of inner peace by choosing not to hate or feel. Bitter toward his abusers, he focused only on what he could control: his reaction, his mindset, and his ability to find purpose even in pain. This choice didn't erase the suffering, but it made him mentally unshakable after surviving the camps. Victor spent the rest of his life teaching the world that real freedom isn't freedom from problems, but freedom from being ruled by how others treat you. His story proves that no one can disturb your peace unless you let them. And your greatest strength lies in ruling over your thoughts and emotions. Many people live like emotional puppets. Every little situation pulls their strings: bad traffic, rude people, passive-aggressive remarks, or an old memory that still stings. One stare, one tone, one dismissal, and they explode. But here's a truth we never learned as kids. You're not required to join every argument someone invites you into. You're not forced to take in every insult tossed your way. And walking away doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. The strongest person isn't the loudest one, but the one who stays composed when the world tries to shake them. So if you're exhausted from getting triggered, tired of losing your energy, and done letting others steal your peace, this message is meant for you, because today you'll learn how to stop reacting and start leading. How to rise above the nonsense, walk past the bait, and move through chaos without being touched. This isn't about being passive, it's about becoming powerful. Each time you lose your cool, each time someone gets to you, they win, not because they're better, but because you gave them something they never earned: control over your emotional state. Look, anger isn't automatic, it's a choice. And the most dangerous thing about it is how right it feels in the moment, but what if you could take that choice back? What if you could go through your days steady, strong, untouched, because your peace no longer depends on what others say, do, or think? In the next few minutes, you'll learn how to shape a mind so grounded, so focused, so untouchable, that no one can rob your calm again. Not your manager, not your ex, not even your own thoughts. Real control starts inside, not outside. And once you grasp that, your whole experience begins to shift. Most people go through life thinking that their peace belongs to their environment, other people, or random events. But here's the truth: no one can push your buttons. If you disconnect the power, that power is your emotional wiring, your triggers, your doubts, your desire to be approved by others. And while you leave that wiring exposed, the world will keep using it, and you'll keep reacting, always stressed, always caught up, always affected by others. But when you finally understand that power doesn't come from forcing people to change, but from training yourself to stay calm even when they don't, that's when you reclaim control. You can't control what people say or how they act or whether they notice your value, but you can control whether you let their behavior influence your emotions. Each time you let someone's words ruin your mood, you've handed them a part of your strength. Each time you blow up over someone's attitude, you've made them the director of your emotional state. And what most never figure out is that your reaction isn't about what happened, it's about how you choose to see it. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Do you snap? Or do you pause and keep driving? Your boss speaks to you harshly. Do you sink into self-doubt or do you take the helpful part and let the rest go? The difference isn't in what happened, but in how you manage your reaction. That's what emotional freedom really means, not being numb or distant, but responding on purpose. You don't become unbothered by pretending you don't care. You become unbothered by deciding in advance what deserves your energy. That's the shift. That's the real power. It's not about changing the world to protect your peace. It's about making your peace so strong the world can't disturb it anymore. You're no longer a puppet. You're no longer at the mercy of others' opinions, attitudes, or actions. You're rooted. Remember, your peace is your duty, and your emotional space is yours to secure. Yours to strengthen and yours to shut off when others try to grab it. Anger is something we choose, not something we must feel. And once you understand that, you step into a level of calm most people never reach. The world will always send noise, criticism, betrayal, unfair treatment, confusion. But you don't need to react every time someone throws something your way. That's the trap. Because when you feel you must reply, fight back, or defend yourself, you've already let go of your power, not just over the event, but over your own self. Anger can be loud, it can feel strong in the moment, but often it just hands over the key to your calm because someone hit the wrong nerve. But what if you didn't respond? What if you could notice the trigger and still keep your center? That's where your true strength is, because something happening doesn't mean it owns you. You are not your anger, you are not your urges, you are not bound to the moment. You are aware, you are in charge, and you get to choose right then and there whether the situation earns your attention or your silence. You can notice something without being consumed by it. You can feel something without becoming it. That's the secret most never see. They think not reacting means you didn't feel it. But real power is feeling everything and still choosing your highest response. The people with the most strength don't shout. They pause, they think, they protect their energy like it's something sacred, because it is. Think of how many times you've been mad, said something wrong, or held on to anger only to find out later it wasn't worth it, that it only left you tired while the person who caused it moved on with their life. That's because anger might feel satisfying at first, but it usually hurts the one who holds it. And if you go through life always needing to react, always chasing the last word, always fixing what others think, you're not preserving your pride, you're giving away your strength. The truth is, calm is stronger than rage. Discipline is real strength. And walking away without reacting is not weakness, it's maturity. So next time someone throws a rock at your peace, ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? Is this worth my emotional investment? Or is this a chance to prove I control myself? Because once you see anger as optional, you stop being a victim of your surroundings. Start creating your own inner peace. You teach others how to treat you, not with your words, but by how. You react every time you overreact. You don't just show frustration, you reward bad behavior with your attention and energy and emotional space. That's what many people miss. The more you react, the more power you give, the more you argue, the more attention you give to the very thing you want to avoid, because attention, good or bad, is still energy, And when you lose it, when you scream or shut down, you're basically telling others, you've got access to my emotional control. You can pull my levers. You can mess with my peace. But in reality, only you decide who gets to enter your emotional space. People will test you. People will push, poke, and provoke, not always with bad intent, sometimes just because they don't know better, but your reaction is what teaches them. If it's allowed, stay quiet when disrespected, and you've shown them disrespect. Is fine, overreact, and you've revealed exactly how to push your buttons. Your response or your silence becomes the lesson they'll remember next time. That's why emotional discipline is key. When you respond with calm, or better yet, choose no response at all, you raise the standard. You send a powerful, quiet message. My peace isn't something you can touch. Some things don't need your voice. Some people don't deserve your reasons. And some fights are not meant for someone who's grown past that level. The strongest one in the room is not the one making the most noise. It's the one who sets the tone with presence, not panic. So ask yourself, what am I teaching others through my reactions? Am I saying that drama gets my focus, or am I making it clear every day that my peace is something rare, because the way you let others treat you reflects how you treat yourself? When you hold yourself with grace, patience, and quiet confidence, people will either adjust to it or leave. Either way, you win. So stop giving energy to what drains you. Stop feeding disrespect with responses. Stop falling for the bait, and instead lead with quiet strength, not loud defense. That's how you take back control and teach the world how to treat you. To meet you at your level, silence is a weapon. Use it wisely in a world hooked on noise, where everyone feels the urge to reply, defend, explain, clap back. Silence has turned into one of the most overlooked kinds of power, because not everything is worth your attention. Some things actually deserve your full indifference. When someone tries to push your buttons, draw you into drama, or shake your self-belief, the strongest thing you can do is nothing. No reaction, no defense, just calmness, just presence, just silence. Why? Because silence makes people uneasy, especially those who feed on control. The moment they realize they can't trigger you, they lose their grip on you. The drama fades, the fire cools, and more importantly, you remain in charge of your energy. Growing up means realizing that not every insult needs a reply. Not every cheap shot needs a comeback. Sometimes the greatest show of power is holding back, and sometimes silence speaks louder than shouting. Think about it. When you react with emotion, you prove they got under your skin. But when you stay calm, when you stay centered, you create mystery. They can't tell what you're thinking or feeling. And that silence gives you power. Silence makes people reflect. It reveals weakness. It shuts down arguments that were never worth having. And most of all, it keeps your peace safe, because your energy is limited and not everyone deserves access to it. Some people talk only to stir up trouble. Some situations are made to throw you off your balance, but you don't have to respond. You don't have to be loud to be understood. You don't have to fight to prove strength. Sometimes turning away is the boldest move you can make. Sometimes locking eyes and saying nothing hits harder than anything you could say. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. That's self-control. That's emotional intelligence. When your silence becomes louder than your words, when your lack of reaction becomes your message, you've stepped into a new kind of power, not because you're numb, but because you care enough about protecting your peace, your clarity, and your emotional balance to not let others mess with them. So next time someone tries to pull you into their storm, ask yourself, does this situation deserve my words or my silence? Because silence, when used with purpose, is not running away. It's a tactic. It's self-respect. It's control. And the person who stays silent while others shout, that's the person who holds the real power. Emotional control is the new strength. Not loud voices, not rage, not firing back at every trigger. In a world where drama is normal and overreaction is popular, The real strength is staying steady when chaos tries to shake you. Because anyone can yell, anyone can slam doors, send hateful messages, or lose control. In anger, that takes no skill, that takes no wisdom, that's just ego. But staying centered when someone crosses the line, keeping your voice calm when someone raises theirs, holding steady when every part of you wants to fight back, that's real strength. That's the kind of power most never develop. It's easy to look tough when you feel attacked, but real toughness isn't about who can shout the loudest, it's about who can stay silent the longest when peace is at stake. Emotional control means you don't let people, situations, or even your own negative thoughts take over your actions. It means you can sit in discomfort without falling apart. It means you don't always need to win the argument or get the last word because you've already won the war inside. And that inner battle is the one that counts. Every time someone tests you, every time life pokes at your peace, you've got a choice. React and lose your grip, or breathe and rise. Above, the strongest person isn't the one who speaks last. It's the one who doesn't have to say anything at all. They stay firm, grounded, unshaken. They don't let someone else's actions affect their inner world, and that kind of calm isn't weakness, it's mastery. It's knowing not every feeling should be voiced, not every thought should lead to a move. It's learning how to pause, reflect, and guard your peace above all else, because emotional control isn't about hiding feelings, it's about choosing which ones to act on, understanding what's worth your energy and what's not, knowing when to speak and when silence is louder. So when the world tries to rattle you, you don't rise to the noise, you sink deeper into your calm. And that makes you unshakable. Not because life is easy, not because people suddenly become kind, but because you've built the strength to stay steady no matter what. And in this noisy world, that kind of peace, that kind of self-mastery is rare. It's powerful. It's needed. Your peace is too valuable to waste on every person you meet. You've come too far, faced too much, and grown too strong to keep giving your energy to people who haven't earned it. Life will test you daily. Someone's mood, someone's insult, someone's desire to drag you into their mess. But just remember, you don't have to accept every invitation to chaos. Just because it's offered doesn't mean you have to accept it. You don't owe anyone your calm. You don't owe anyone your attention. Once you understand your energy is precious, you stop wasting it on people who can't value it. Let them live in their noise. Let them fight with their own thoughts. Let them chase storms. You stay guarded. Stay peaceful, like a fortress, strong, secure, untouched. Because once you start choosing peace over pride, calm over chaos, silence over shouting, you rise, you grow, you free yourself from the emotional ups and downs that trap so many. Understand this. Some people live for conflict. They feel powerful if they can drag you into their pain, if they can shake your calm. Don't let them win. Don't offer your peace for cheap. Protect your energy for the things that help you grow, not the things that wear you down. The ones with real power don't respond to every shout. They don't need to. Their silence says everything. Their boundaries say everything. Their decision to not feed into foolishness speaks louder than any argument. And yes, you'll be tested. People will challenge you. Life will throw chaos your way. But the real test isn't about them, it's about you. Can you stay grounded while everything around you loses balance? When someone disrespects you and you lash out, they've taken your power when they behave badly and you match their energy. They've dragged you to their level. And just like that, they've taken over your peace. They're in control of how you feel and how you act. That's not power. That's slavery to outside madness. And as long as your emotions are tied to someone else's behavior, you're letting strangers pull your strings like a puppet. But the moment you understand that no one has control over you unless you allow it, everything changes. You begin to protect your emotional space like it's sacred, because it is. Your mind is your safe space. Your peace is your own. Why hand it over so freely? Why let people who don't mean much have full access to your heart and mind? Emotional freedom isn't about turning cold, it's about becoming wise. It's choosing your reactions rather than being pulled by them. It's saying, I control how I feel, no matter what they do. Because here's the truth. People will poke at your triggers, but they can only touch what you haven't healed. And healing is learning how to step back to feel without reacting, to walk away without needing to argue. Take back your emotional keys. Your mood is yours. Your peace isn't for public use. It's your private treasure. And you don't owe anyone access. Just because they're loud, upset, or demanding attention, the more you practice emotional independence, the less you get trapped by other people's nonsense. You stop saying, they made me angry, and start saying, I stayed calm. You stop getting dragged in and start standing firm. It's not easy, but it's essential, because without emotional ownership, you'll be pulled in 100 directions every single day by people who don't even care about your peace. Take back your control. Guard your peace like a fortress with one key that only you hold. And always remember, the one who controls your mood controls your whole day. So stop giving that control to someone who hasn't earned it. You're not here to be emotionally directed by others. You're here to own your mood, shape your world, and protect your peace like your future depends on it, because it does. Drop the ego. It's the real cause behind every burst of anger, every sting of offense, every time you're shaken by someone's words. The truth is, it's not the insult itself that hits you. It's the part of you that believes the insult. It's the side that wants to defend, prove, or explain itself. That's your ego talking, and the ego is breakable, always alert, always ready to defend its identity by striking back, shutting off, or burying the pain deep inside. It thrives in conflict because that conflict gives it something to stand against, a reason to keep existing. But your soul, your true self, doesn't need any of that. The soul doesn't seek validation, explanation, or revenge. It just is whole and complete, beyond the small games of pride and defense. When you understand that the real trigger isn't what was said, but how the ego reacts to it, you begin to take the first steps toward real freedom. You begin to let go of the need to prove anything, to argue back, or to always get the last word. Instead, you build a quiet space inside where the ego's sharp edges begin to soften and loosen their hold. This doesn't mean you stop caring or turn a blind eye to injustice. It means you've risen above the need to react from a place of hurt pride. The more you feed your ego with defensiveness and comebacks, the more you remain trapped in an endless storm of emotions. But when you choose to look past the ego's need for attention, you step into a life of peace and clear thinking. Just imagine how freeing it feels to no longer be driven by the part of you that's afraid of rejection or desperate for respect. To feel calm, to be centered. These are rare qualities in a world hooked on noise, reaction, and chaos. The truth is, you can't shake someone who's already at peace. When you build real stillness inside you, no outside chaos, no harsh words, no unfair attack, no attempt to provoke you can shake your inner calm stillness. Isn't weakness or giving up. It's the highest form of control over yourself. It shows mastery that goes far beyond shouting or winning arguments in any space. The calmest one holds the most power, not by raising their voice or using force, but because their steady presence naturally earns respect and stops conflict before it grows. When you're still, you show a quiet confidence built on self-awareness and emotional control. You don't need to prove anything or protect your ground with noise, because your calm energy says more than any words ever could. Stillness helps you think clearly, reply with wisdom, and act with intention rather than react from emotion. It's a kind of strength over your inner world, a stronghold built inside that no one can enter without your say Think about all the energy you'd save if you stopped reacting to every emotional poke, every insult, every attempt to upset you. Stillness is choosing to pause, breathe, and watch rather than jump into the heat of every moment. It means knowing your value without shouting it to the world, and it means understanding that true power is quiet, calm, and steady, like a deep lake, calm above, but powerful underneath. Those who master stillness don't lose. They win by not letting the world control them or pull them off center. They create a space where their peace is guarded, not with noise, but with calm, strong presence. This kind of strength draws people in. It demands respect and disarms aggression. Others feel it without needing to be told. They sense that this person cannot be shaken, not because they're distant, but because they're strong inside. So when you feel the need to reply, to fight, to prove a point, remind yourself stillness is your most powerful tool. It's not about ignoring life. It's about walking through it with grace and inner strength. When you live with stillness, you don't just get through the storms, you become the calm in the middle, the steady force others can't ignore. That is real power. That is emotional strength. That is freedom. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you. Holding on to anger and hate is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. It's a wound you keep opening that steals your energy, ruins your peace, and traps you in a dark cycle of bitterness. When you hold grudges, replay past pain, and refuse to let go, you give that person power over your emotions long after the hurt has happened. Forgiveness doesn't mean what they did was okay. It doesn't mean you forget or even make up. It means you choose to take back your life by letting go of the weight of anger. It means no longer allowing someone else's actions to rule your emotions or your future. Forgiveness is choosing to take your power back by refusing to let the past keep echoing in your mind. It's knowing that you deserve peace more than you need to be right, and that holding on to pain only keeps you stuck in what you want to leave behind. When you forgive, you open up space to heal, to grow, and to move forward without the heavy chain of hate dragging behind you. It's not about them, it's about you. Because real forgiveness sets you free. It opens the door to lightness and peace. So remember this, the world doesn't have to change for you to be peaceful. You do. You can't control what others say, what they do, or the chaos they bring, but you can always control how you respond. And that's where your real strength lives, not in reacting, not in proving yourself, but in becoming so steady inside that no one can touch your peace unless you allow it. The moment you stop letting people control your emotions, you stop being their puppet, you rise, you take charge, you begin to live from a place of strength, not stress. This is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's not giving up, it's showing up fully. It's not about avoiding storms, it's about becoming the calm within them. You are not here to be pulled by every emotion or dragged into every conflict. You are here to stand tall, breathe deep, and choose stillness when the world shouts, because when you stop being affected by everything, you become untouchable. And that is true freedom.